Um, Today I'm streaming a little bit earlier than usual. Um, I want to touch on the topic of Bilal Mohammed. Like I want to discuss this guy in full detail. Um, I want to give you guys my thoughts on whether or not I think he has the ability to actually shock the world, basically. Um, and yeah, and basically his road to the belt. Because to be fair, I honestly feel like the guy hasn't been treated fairly. Um, for whatever reason, I honestly don't. Okay, I get it, but there are more boring fighters in the UFC. But I feel like this guy gets it more than anyone else. So yeah, I just want to touch on that. I will be doing my final predictions tomorrow. Um, but I honestly wanted to give you my thoughts basically about this particular topic because everyone feels so strongly about it. I saw like a channel called The Fighting Business. They did this incredibly beautiful piece about Bilal Muhammad and his path to the belt, basically. And it touched me a little bit because I feel like, man, Bilal Muhammad is, I feel like he's being unfairly treated. You know, people complain about people like um, Islam Makhachev and Habib, and they're like, oh, these guys didn't face anyone on their road to the title. Well, for the most part, whether people disagree or agree with that, um, those two guys, especially Habib and Islam, a lot of people didn't want to fight them, right? During the early stages of their career. Like for them to be fast tracked like that, people didn't want to fight them. The difference is that Bilal, no one was scared of Bilal. Like everyone who went into the octagon with Bilal, they felt like I can beat this guy, and that's probably the biggest issue with Bilal is because he doesn't seem like the dude who's going to beat you, but um, for for whatever reason or somehow he's managed to find a way to actually um, get on a 9 fight win streak, right? So, do I think Bilal could actually shock the world? My official prediction is that Leon will probably win this one easily. However, I said this even on my live when I was basically recapping my UFC results video. I said this. I don't know if I think Juliana Pena and Bilal Mohammed train in the same gym, right? They have the same delusion. They have the same delusion, and that same delusion led to Juliana Pena becoming um, a UFC champion. And a lot of people didn't foresee that coming, including myself. A part of me felt like something feels different about this particular fight, but I couldn't put my hand on it. But right now, looking at Bilal, man, like his conviction reminds me of Juliana Pena on on during fight week, or rather leading up the build up to the fight between her and Amanda Nunes. Um, I was even calling Bilal had a stinky boring decision against a one-arm Gilbert Burns. It really stunk up. Dude, like, but like, I feel like, why are you guys saying that? Not to be honest, I'm going to be honest about this particular thing. I think, I honestly think that that fight wasn't that boring, man. I don't understand why you guys feel that way about this guy, but I enjoyed the performance. And before that, he knocked out Sean Brady, the same Sean Brady who dominated Calvin Gastelum, the Calvin Gastelum who went to war with Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya, who's, I know I'm doing MMA math, but Israel Adesanya, who's probably in the top three of the greatest middleweights in history, probably. So I mean, he deserves a little bit of credit for that. To some extent, I feel like he deserves a little bit of credit. His last couple of fights have not been as boring as people have said that they are. But the main thing that I want to highlight is that we were saying the same thing about Juliana Pena. I don't know if anyone remembers it. There was absolutely no one who thought or who believed that Juliana Pena would have what it takes to actually upset um, Amanda Nunes. And Leon Edwards is not Amanda Nunes. Like Juliana Pena actually upset Amanda Nunes. So I have this feeling, and if you look at my predictions, right, like even tomorrow, my official prediction, and even if you go to my shots, my official prediction is Leon is going to win, and not just win, but potentially even finish the fight. I feel like this is going to be easy for him, but there's this part of me that sees that delusion, that Juliana Pena delusion, that makes me doubt myself a little bit. Because I feel like Bilal is where he is in his career, not because of skill. The only reason I feel like, obviously, the skill has to play a factor into him getting to where he is right now. But I feel like the self belief that he has in himself has propelled him to actually winning fights that he probably shouldn't have been able to win. And the comparison I was making in the beginning was that a lot of people were complaining about people like Habib and Islam getting title shots because they felt like, well, they didn't fight enough contenders. Bilal fought contenders, right? And I get that he's not the most exciting fighter, and I mean, I think he's more exciting than Kobe, and Kobe was loved for before he stunk up the UFC two, was it 296? Yeah, I think it was 296, somewhere there, last year December. He talked such a big game and then got in there and didn't do anything. I think Bilal, in my personal opinion, is a lot more exciting. And as far as fighting goes, there's nothing exciting that Kobe does in the octagon, and for whatever reason, the guy is not getting the same level of respect as Kobe. Whereas I feel like he's done a little bit more than Kobe has ever done. Um, Unless if you want to count the amount of titles that Kobe has lost as an achievement, then okay. But I feel like if you compare Kobe and Bilal Muhammad, the only difference is Kobe talks like insults people's families and all these type of things, but he's not actually exciting. He's not an exciting fighter. So, but in all honesty, I feel like Bilal potentially might end up. I can't believe, I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but I'm going to go. My research is going to go with Leon. But for me personally, I feel pretty confidently about that pick. But I think the only way Leon is going to win that fight is if he knocks out Bilal Muhammad. Because I can guarantee you that Bilal Muhammad will have an insane amount of cardio. Bilal Muhammad knows that this is going to be his last shot. It took him 9 fights, nine straight wins to actually get to this particular point in time. And if Kobe Covington had won that belt last year, there's a possibility Bilal Muhammad never gets a title shot. There's a possibility Bilal Muhammad was going to have to fight maybe Leon, because Leon would have defended the belt maybe once. So the UFC would feel like maybe it's a risky fight and he's not a draw, for example. So they would have moved on to someone else, and Leon would have had to fight with Bilal Muhammad, and probably I don't know what would have happened. But all I know is that I feel like Bilal will win a decision. If it gets to a decision, I'm leaning a little bit more towards Bilal, because if you look at Leon's fights, right? This is something I was supposed to do when I was doing my final predictions, but let me just break it down. If you look at Leon's fights, I don't know, he gets a little bit sloppy. Obviously, every single person is like that in a 5 round fight, but Nate Diaz was able to rock Leon Edwards in the later rounds. Um, Leon Edwards was losing the first fight, especially towards like the end of the to like the last two rounds of the first fight between him and Kamaru Usman. He was losing that fight, right? And then the second fight, I feel like it was more or less the same thing. I feel like Leon Edwards. I don't know if it's I should blame his cardio. The same thing happened with the fight with Colby Covington. In the fight with Colby Covington, if it goes to a decision, I think the UFC will rig it to give to Leon. Dude, you don't like Bilal. It depends, man. I don't know, man. I, I honestly, if it goes to decision, it depends how it looks. If Leon Edwards is on his back for like 2 rounds, it's gonna be difficult to justify him winning the fight, right? A robbery can only happen if the fight was close enough. The Jared Gordon fight, the fight between Paddy Pimblett and Jared Gordon was won by Jared Gordon, but it was close enough for a robbery to be possible. I'm telling you, even in the fifth round, I believe Bilal will still be looking for a finish. So for me personally, I feel like it's a risky fight, largely because of what I was saying actually before, which is Leon Edwards slows down and somehow I'm not gonna go as far as saying he gives up, but he lost the final round. Obviously, the argument can be made that well, he did something he wouldn't normally do because he knew he had the fight won against Colby Covington. That's why he ended up on his back. But the fact is, it happened in the final round. And that, if you look at Leon Edwards' fight, it normally that's what normally happens in his fights. When it gets to the fourth and fifth round, he somehow slows down significantly, and I don't know, man. I feel like those 2 rounds will play a significant role in deciding who's going to win the fight. So, in all honesty, if Leon Edwards does not finish Bilal, and you don't have to listen to what I'm saying because, in all honesty, I can't justify what I'm saying because even my pick is not Bilal. So, like, I can't honestly justify what I'm saying. But that's why I will repeat this word over and over again. We didn't see this coming from Juliana Pena, right? We didn't see this coming when Juliana Pena was fighting Amanda Nunes. We were calling her delusional. We were calling her crazy. We were even some of us were even offended that she thinks she can beat Amanda Nunes. And what happened? She submitted her, right? She submitted her because we even felt offended, and that's when Amanda Nunes was like, "No, I wasn't training." And to be fair, she wasn't training. She proved it in the second fight. But the fact is, we didn't see it happen even happening in the first fight. Even if she wasn't training as hard, we didn't feel like Juliana Pena would even have a shot at winning that particular fight, even if it was Amanda Nunes's fight bargain night off. Even on Amanda Nunes's night off, we didn't feel like Juliana Pena was good enough to actually win that particular fight, and she did, right? I just have the same feeling about this particular fight. Um, I don't know. You guys tell me what you think about that. But those are basically my thoughts. The combination of Bilal's conviction and belief in his ability to actually become a champion, when you combine it with the fact that Leon Edwards slows down significantly to a point whereby he loses. The last 2 rounds are probably his most problematic rounds. If you look at like the Nate Diaz and even going before that, and even most recently the fight with Colby Covington, he lost the final. Whatever the case is, but he was on his back on that particular in that particular round. And I feel like if that happens with Bilal Muhammad, he won't let that opportunity pass him by. And he I forgot to even mention the fact that this guy has been training with people like Habib. And you remember the last time he was training with people like Habib and Islam, The last time that happened, he knocked out the undefeated Sean Brady, right? And I was one of the people who felt like Bilal is not going to win this fight. I didn't have a channel, but in my head, I was like, Sean Brady is an incredible wrestler. Sean Brady is an incredible striker. Did I not have a channel? I don't know. I can't remember. Was it last year? I think I had a channel. Probably there's a prediction. I can't remember what my prediction was on that particular fight. But I know it wasn't last year. Last year was Gilbert Burns. Yeah. But in my head, I felt like Sean Brady was the better striker. I felt like Bilal Muhammad would not out wrestle Sean Brady, and like Sean Brady is like a huge guy. He has a lot of muscles and all those type of things. So in my head, and in a lot of people's opinions, they were like, okay, this is the guy who's going to stop Bilal Muhammad, and he ended up knocking him out. And that was around the time he was training with Habib and Islam. He was doing the same thing for this particular camp, and he went, and I get that the argument that he's older now. That's a fair, and that's one of the things I considered. That's why I'm not picking Bilal Muhammad. He's older now. He's not as technically good of a striker as Leon Edwards is, and the wrestling will not, probably, this is hypothetical, will not play a huge factor or a huge role. Hi man, I can't read Russian. I don't know if that's Russian, but I can't read Russian. But I also felt like the wrestling wouldn't play a huge factor because Leon has been training for wrestlers in his last three fights. I think, yeah, the first fight against Usman, the second fight against Usman, and the fight against Colby Covington, and he was winning the wrestling exchanges. So like it wouldn't even surprise me if Leon Edwards is the one initiating the grappling exchanges. So I'm not sitting here and saying I'm 100% sure, because if you look at my predictions on my shots, I did say that the Leon Edwards pick is 51% safe, and my subscribers also feel the same way. They feel like, and I agree with that. I feel like skill for skill, Leon Edwards is the better fighter. Leon Edwards is younger. Leon Edwards will probably be a little bit more faster. He's better technically. I don't feel like Bilal has any advantage, whether it's on the feet or on the ground. There's so many things that are in Bilal Muhammad's, but again, Leon Edwards' um, uh, favor, that it would be insane to even consider the idea that, what do you call him? Bilal would win. Bilal will not win, my brother. I understand that, my dude. Like I've been saying, um, my official pick, guys, is Leon Edwards. I am just pointing out that people were saying the same thing about Juliana Pena. Leon Edwards is not Amanda Nunes. He's not a two-division champion. He's not potentially the greatest female fighter in history. He's not that, and we didn't even see that coming against Amanda Nunes. So I'm not sitting here and predicting that Bilal Muhammad is going to beat Leon Edwards clean. I'm saying it's going to get extremely interesting if it gets to the fourth and fifth round. That's all I'm saying. It's going to get extremely interesting because look at every single fight of Leon Edwards. His last his last four fights, 4 or 5 fights. Look at the fourth and fifth round. He he somehow gives up, man. Like being rocked by Nate Diaz is not a good look in my opinion. Nate is old. Did you see the fight between Nate and Tony Ferguson? It was hard to watch. They were fighting, taking breaks in between. Like I don't understand what was happening there, but it wasn't a good fight, man. Like even though Nate Diaz ended up getting a submission, it was a horrible fight to look at. So that guy managed to rock Leon Edwards in the fifth round. So for me personally, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there is a possibility. You don't have to listen to what I'm saying. I'm just giving you my opinion on this particular thing. um, I see something. So the best thing to do would just be to look at Tom Aspinall. If maybe you're looking for a parlay, you could look at potentially Tom Aspinall, maybe Brandon Allen. I feel a little bit confidently about Brandon Allen, even though I feel like Giga Chikadze might have a shot, but not so much. But I feel like the fight between Brandon Allen and Giga Chikadze is a little bit safer, in my opinion. Um, Someone is calling me. The fight between Brandon Allen and Giga Chikadze is a little bit safer than, what do you call him? Uh, Bilal Mohammed and Leon Edwards. That's how I feel it. So a safer parlay, in my opinion, is Tom Aspinall. Who's this person? A safer parlay is Tom Aspinall. It's, what do you call him? This person disturbed my train of thought. Tom Aspinall, Brandon Allen, and Nathaniel Wood. Yes. Those are the three people that I feel a little bit confident about, even though I feel like Curtis Blades might be a problem, because Tom Aspinall, I think, has been taken down a few times in his career. But I think he's good enough to be able to get up, especially when you look at the fact that Curtis Blades was struggling against the fight with Jelton Almeida. I think in that fight, Jelton Almeida made a stupid decision by just standing in there and allowing himself to be elbowed on the side of the head up until he lost that fight. And I feel like he was a little bit undersized, trying to grapple with someone who can actually grapple, who has the size advantage over him. So I think maybe that played a factor into that. Also, another thing, another reason why I feel a little bit confident about Tom Aspinall is because Curtis Blades does not have the best fight IQ. That's the guy who had a grappling advantage decided he's going to strike with Sergey Pavlovich, and that was not the first time. When was the other time when he made a horrible decision? It's kind of like Erin Blanchfield deciding she's going to strike with Manon Fiorot. Like, why? Why would you do that? Like, it doesn't make sense. But in Erin Blanchfield's situation, I understand. I feel like she trusted a corner, and they misled her. They saw her performance against Jessica Andrade, and they were like, "Oh my God, you can strike!" And Jessica Andrade cannot strike. So she was misled by that. So hopefully that won't happen again. But Curtis Blades makes a variety of fight IQ errors over and over again. That's one of the reasons why I feel, not just with regards to skill, but with certain decisions within a fight. I think when it comes to fight IQ, it favors Tom Aspinall. So that's one of the reasons I feel a little bit more confidently about Tom Aspinall winning this fight, apart from his skills. Because skill for skill, I feel like he's a little bit faster, he's a little bit more well rounded. And to top it all off, I think he has the fight IQ advantage. So for me, the main event, even though I said it's 51% safe, there's a reason why I didn't say 60 or 70. Is because I have doubts about that particular fight going the way I think it's going to go. Because the thing about upsets is that no one sees them coming. Like, that's why they are called upsets, right? It's because no one foresees those things actually happening, and then they happen. That's why it's called an upset. And for me personally, I think Bilal has the ability to upset Leon. He has the determination and enough skill to actually upset him. It's not even really a shock if he wins. I see him wrestling him to a decision is a real possibility. David, yeah, man. That's the argument I've been trying to make. But the thing is, Leon has like that's one of the things that I spoke about and that I touched on during this whole live stream is that Leon in his last three fights has been preparing for wrestlers, and in my opinion, Kamaru Usman is a higher level bargain level wrestler than both Colby Covington and Bilal Muhammad. So I think the wrestling preparation will be a little bit better. And I actually even said that I wouldn't be shocked that if Leon Edwards wrestles offensively and not defensively, like if he actually is the one who initiates the grappling exchanges, the same way he did against Kamaru Usman, because I think was it in their first fight. I think it was in their first fight. I mean, he won the first round and he almost submitted Kamaru Usman, maybe, but I think that is also because he wasn't expecting it to actually happen in that particular way. But my point with regards to that is that the possibility is there. It's not like it won't happen. Like it's something that is out of the realm of possibilities. You see, if Curtis Blades wins, I will be a little bit more shocked than if Bilal Muhammad wins. Right. Similarly with Nathaniel Wood, I feel on the entire card, I've already said this, but Nathaniel Wood is my lock for on this particular card. If he loses, I will be a little bit more shocked. There are a couple of people that I feel like if they lose, I will be a little bit more shocked. If Bilal wins, I wouldn't be shocked, right? And I think I've made my case. I'll see you guys tomorrow when I do my final predictions for UFC 304. I just felt like I wanted to speak a little bit more about this particular topic. Yeah, I'll be going live around this time. I don't know what time zone you are in, but count 30 minutes from now, whatever time it is in your country, because I know there are people from Canada, the United Kingdom, and especially the United States who watch my channel. So I don't like giving you a specific time because I'm going to give you a South African time and then it doesn't match with wherever you are in the world. So right now, 30 minutes from now, that's when I'll be going live tomorrow. Whatever time it is in your times in your country, just mark that down, or just turn on your the bell on the corner so that you get a notification when I go live. Let me reply to David before I leave. Yeah, it's too close for me to put money on. Only on Tom. Yeah, I agree. For me, it's Tom, it's Nathaniel Wood, and maybe Brandon Allen. Arnold Allen. I don't know why I say Brandon. Arnold Allen. Yeah, I'll see you for the final predictions tomorrow, guys. My love and appreciate all of you. Until tomorrow, deuces.